As of right now, my house looks pretty barren. Most of my neighbors have surrounded their bases with custom trees. So today we're going to be surrounding our house with some custom trees as well. And of course, we'll have to continue our theme of cutting everything in half. So we're going to be filling this entire area with trees. Nice little forest of half trees. But there's a couple problems we're going to have to solve. I know I want a road coming in from this area going up, which means all of this area will have trees. However, when it comes to behind my house, it just kind of drops off. That's no good, because if I'm going to fill this area with trees and I put the trees down there, it's not going to work. So we're going to have to cover this area with grass. I don't really know where my property line ends and Lazy's begins, so we're not going to go too far in this direction. The second issue, I've never built a tree, at least not in survival. I've done a couple test trees in creative, and what I've learned is that these things use a ton of leaves. So I've been farming up some leaves, right? We don't have that many, and we're definitely going to need some more than that. Right now I'm just going to go through and lay out where I want all of the trees. And I have stripped spruce log. That's going to be just your generic spruce tree, kind of like what Crink has. And then I'm going to add some of these stripped pale oak logs, sort of in clusters. And those are going to be some aspen trees. So I'm going to go ahead and lay out a little plan of what we're doing. You know, just place all the trees and kind of make a frame for what I want to cover here. But yeah, let's get started. Okay, so this is what we're going to be working with. I've put down stumps everywhere for all of the trees I want to place. We've got tons of spruce trees to build and tons of aspen trees. I think I did forget to put some trees down here, but I want to get the main bulk of the forest done before we do kind of the sparser, less dense areas of this forest. From what I know, aspens grow in clusters like this. Aspens usually share the same root systems and the same DNA, so they count as one organism. And there's actually one aspen tree up in Utah called Pando that has so many aspen trees on its one root cluster that it's technically the largest organism on the planet. Little fun fact for you guys. Anyway, this is going to be very monotonous work. It's just a bunch of trees, and they're all going to be slightly different. But I figured I'd show you guys the technique. So we're going to build one spruce tree on camera and one aspen tree on camera. And then we'll cut to a montage or time lapse or something like that. But let's go ahead and start with the spruce tree. So I'm going to start off with the base of the tree first, otherwise known as the trunk. And we're going to go up about 21 blocks, I think. That makes for a nice tree, although let's check that from a distance. Yeah, slightly taller than the house. That's exactly what I wanted. At least for this one. We might make a couple smaller, a couple larger, who knows. But then we just kind of go up like this, and I'm just using tough and stripped spruce logs for this. Tough kind of looks like the bark on a pine tree, so that's what I'm going with, but I think we'll leave 2 blocks there and we'll finish it off with some fence. So that's sort of the trunk that we're going to be working with here. When pine trees are in a forest, I find that the branches don't start very low. They go up pretty high and then they've got their plants, or their leaves. What am I saying? Yeah, I'd say that's high enough for our first branch. So we're going to go up here, which is around 10 blocks, and I'm just going to make a branch. And this should be the longest of all the branches on the tree, because they should get smaller as we go up. So then I guess we can put another branch on this side, just like that. So it kind of swoops down. So I think that's good for the lower branches. And we can go a little higher up to try and get some more of these going. And then I don't want this to be perfectly symmetrical, so we're going to go down a couple layers, maybe like here. And then can we put a trap door on that? We can. Beautiful. Now we just need to add some smaller branches up towards the top. We'll just do one spruce plank like that, and then we can place a trapdoor there and a trapdoor there. And that should be good enough for our branches. Although I forgot to add these spruce fences, which are going to be some additional branches. We can just put these fences underneath the branches, sort of like this, and it'll kind of look like dead branches below the branches that exist. So that's what we're currently looking at. And remember, this is supposed to be a tree that's been sliced in half. So we're looking at the cross section of the tree here. So now we get to move on to the leaves of the tree. I think what we'll do is we'll just kind of cover these branches in these pine needle blocks, and the less the better, probably. Oh, there it goes. And then we can put like a fence there for now as we surround this area with some more leaves. We can keep just going around here adding random leaf blocks. Let's make this go down a bit. I've heard that when building trees, it's good to leave a lot of open blocks. So I'm kind of trying to do that here. We're not going to cover the branch entirely. I am trying to make little like droopy section with the leaves here. That's looking a little too uniform, so we're going to add one block, just maybe right there or something, going a couple blocks further down than the rest of the branches. We can just kind of spiral up, adding more leaves on all of these branches like this. But that's basically all I'm really doing, is I'm just going around here and adding sort of randomly just these leaves. Enough to cover the branch, but not completely enclose it, I guess. And as we get to the higher branches of the trees, I'm obviously putting less leaves down. So this one's not going to get very many up here. However, we are going to put some leaves all around the fence here. We'll just make this pretty tall. I feel like most trees are like that. Whoopsies. But most of this process is just placing a couple leaves and then standing far away to look at it. Maybe we'll look at it from this side now. Yeah, I think there's an issue right here because we have 0 leaves on this layer. So let's add one. Yeah, I'd say that's a lot better. So let's look at it from a different angle. Yeah, that looks good. I think we're done with this tree. However, we can't forget the most important angle, the cross section. And somehow I messed up the cross section. Good thing we looked, because we shouldn't have any leaves right here. So now that's looking a lot more like the tree has just been sliced in half. And I am liking that. Let's look at it from our window. Ooh, yeah. Oh, I am happy with this. It definitely looks like a tree that's been cut in half. That is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We're going to have to quit staring at this beautiful thing because we have so many other trees to build. So we're going to do this aspen tree next, which I want to be poking its head out of the forest, right? Because aspens, in my mind, are taller than the pine trees. And this time I'm using a combo of birch log with stripped pale oak and some diorite. Yeah, the diorite is definitely pretty dark, but I don't know, I think it adds to the whole aspen vibe. If you didn't know, these black marks, at least I was told this in elementary school, those marks are from deer. They come and munch on the bark, and then the tree just grows, so the bite marks continue up alongside the tree. So from what I've seen is that aspen trees are pretty bushy on top. So we're going to add some branches like so. And then I'm going to be using this color palette of orange wool, honeycomb, and yellow wool. I got the wool from Jushik, and if you're wondering where I got the honeycomb, well...
Yeah, nice to meet you. So I saw you online. I thought, well, you know what? Figured I'd have you come over and test it for me real quick.
Yeah, sure.
So take those so you don't have to use your own diamonds.
Oh, okay, thank you.
The white, I think there's 6 or so in there. So I'm going to have you throw those 3 diamonds one at a time. And
Okay.
to watch the light, the light will light up when it accepts it on, but throw them on the carpet.
Okay.
There you go. And push the button. Boom.
That's awesome.
It works, and there's 3. Okay, that's
yeah. Wow.
So there's the counting system is working. Here's what I'm gonna have to put instructions on an instruction board somewhere in here, because if you throw those diamonds as fast as you can in there, it'll trick the system. It'll take the diamonds and only give you 1. Yeah. Keep those shulkers, by the way.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much.
I don't know. I don't know what you did with them. I hope you didn't throw them back into this.
Oh no, I've still got them.
Yeah. So what are you working on then?
I'm currently working on building like a forest around my house. So I'm just collecting a bunch of leaves and wood to do that.
Okay. Anything special you need? I'm the windmill. I don't know if you've been that far over here
Oh, I
near
think I've seen it.
yeah.
Yeah, it was like filled with cave spiders or something. Rusty was saying.
Ha! They think it is. I've not found them. So sure, before he went over to the other server and they did that whole Dragonfell thing, he came over here and he was threatening me because I didn't pay the tough thing. The whole backstory to that.
Yeah.
And he had set up when I got here the other day. I haven't been on it such a long time. There was a portal right here. I'm thinking, oh, okay, so he must have taken all those cave spiders. I've never seen one, so I don't know what he did with it. But here's I haven't moved it yet. But if you look, yeah, return to Sherb with 40 stacks of tough by 12:31. I'm like, that's way past due. But this always happens. Stay here. This is my my iron farm. There he goes. Ah. So I set some custom. There. So
Very good white noise. Yeah.
Yes, and so I AFK here a lot for iron and that kind of stuff, and they scream every once in a while at me. But I don't know if you've got a good food source, but I have more chicken than I'll ever eat. Oh, speaking of that, here, do you have the resource pack on?
Yeah, I do. Ooh,
Peaches.
Peaches, very nice.
Peaches, yeah. Rosie did that for me.
Oh, that's cool.
The other thing up here, and do you like honeycomb?
Oh yeah, I like honeycomb a lot.
Do you? Come here, please. So if you come up here, I made a little makeshift glowberry farm, which is actually really, really slow. But I don't need a lot of them, so it's just more of a place filler, you know.
Right.
This, however, in that chest, please take some. I'm running out of storage.
Oh yeah, I'll take some. Thank you a lot.
So yeah, fill up one of those shelters.
Yeah, I was gonna use a lot of honeycomb for some aspen trees or something. So this works pretty well.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go. Over here, have you seen these?
Yeah, this is a mud maker, right?
Mud maker, yeah.
Yeah, I just built one in my survival single player.
Good. Okay. If you ever need it and you don't want to build one, you're more than welcome to fly over here and use it. Now,
Sweet.
The one thing I will say about like Il Mango's machine, you could use a diamond shovel on because it was real quick.
Yeah.
But on these SMPs, that doesn't quite do it as well as this single player.
Right.
And I have found with this design, I have to use a stone shovel.
Oh wow. Okay.
But
well,
like I said, you're more than welcome to anything around.
Yeah. Thanks for the tour and all the gifts. Appreciate it a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining the server.
Yeah, of course. It's fun. I like it. So thank you, Dune, for this magnificent block. It's going to be such a help. And if we're going with this color palette, that means that these trees are kind of based in like autumn, which I think is the prettiest time for aspens, is just the fall. They're still fine at other times. It's just like the fall is pretty cool. So just like the other trees, we're kind of just making some leaves like this. The nice thing about aspens is they have very few branches in comparison. But we'll do something like that, and then we'll color in with some honeycomb blocks. And this can be yellow wool maybe. I don't know, let's check that out. Yeah, that looks really stupid. The orange wool should be closer to the bottom. The top was also way too small, so we're gonna have to bring that down a few blocks. So perhaps something like this will be more appropriate. And we're still gonna have to puff the leaves out here a bit. But I do want most of this section to be made of honeycomb. I will admit I have not built an aspen tree in creative. I have built a pine tree in creative, so that's why I kind of knew what I was doing with that one. This one is entirely freehand. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. I think we need just a few more honeycomb blocks like right here. Yeah, I think that looks a lot better. Oh, completely forgot the bottom part right there. Whoopsies. Then I think like right here, we're going to put a little branch. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking putting all the leaves under the branch there. It has now been noted that the leaves go on top of the branch instead of below the branch. Yeah, I think that works pretty well actually. Yeah, I'd say that's a decent aspen tree. There's definitely better out there, but for just freehanding and survival, I'm going to take that. And we'll definitely get better as we build several of these, but this is kind of just my template. You guys have seen me build the pine tree. You guys have seen me build the aspen tree. Now you guys are going to see me build all of the trees. Hey, we're done with all the trees. I am very happy with how this entire forest came out. It looks pretty normal if you're walking this way, but of course if you're walking this way, it's kind of, you know, cut in half. Luckily, this thing only took me 9 hours to do, so it's great to be done with this. But, I mean, I guess we're not technically done yet. We've got like 4 more things I want to do this episode. One thing is we got to finish this path. Another thing is, I don't know if grass really makes sense for this forest. We're probably going to have to texture this up a bit, most likely with some coarse dirt or, you know, that type of stuff. Third thing, kind of in line with that, I don't really like the torches, so we're going to have to hide some lights around the area. And then lastly on the list, but first thing we're going to do, is I'm going to change the house up a bit. Where's obsidian? Aha, I need 1... steel. Or flint. Give me a flint. Where's flint? There it is. So here's the deal. I'm really tired of using other people's nether portals. So we're gonna put a nether portal in here. I think it's a wonderful spot for it. But this is where the portal is now gonna be, and then we can block this off with some barrels. And this is kind of in line with my channel anyway, because, you know, it's a portal in a closet, like a famous book. But let's fix it from down here, because that's going to be... honestly, it's not that noticeable. So just doing that, I think, will cover up the portal. We are going to hear it a bit, but it's not that bad. So I just need the coordinates of this. And now that we have those coordinates, I'm going to go to the portal I have been using. And we're going to put ourselves up on the nether roof now. It is very dark in the nether here. But we finally have ourselves a portal, and we can go through, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we show up in our house. Wahaha, beautiful. That is what we like to see. First thing done. 3 more to go. Next thing I want to do are the roads, so I'm just over here in the main area of town, kind of checking out what everyone's been doing, and it's been a lot of this, like, packed mud. I think, what is this? Yeah, brown mushroom blocks, rooted dirt, coarse dirt. I think Jushik is doing the same thing that Calvin and Crink are doing. So we're going to coordinate with that. However, the one major issue I have with this is the fact that I am out of dirt. Yeah, so I don't have brown mushrooms either. So I have no dirt, no brown mushrooms. Actually, no, there should be a brown mushroom somewhere on the nether roof. Bingo. Those are some brown mushrooms if I've ever seen one. In all my years of playing Minecraft, I do not think I have ever grown a brown mushroom. So we're gonna do it for the first time. Hello? Can you not place it on grass? Maybe it works on Podzol? Okay, it works on Podzol. Woohoo, and I've got Silk Touch. Yeah, okay. Oh, it's instantaneous too. Look at that. Well, let me go ahead and gather up some materials, I suppose. Alright, so I'm hoping that this is going to be enough. We got some packed mud, some coarse dirt, and some brown mushroom blocks. It should be enough because we're only going to do this small section right here because I don't know how I'm going to connect up with the others quite yet. The diamond shovel's a bit too quick, so we're just going to do this with iron. Okay, this sucks. Much better. Alright, so if I remember correctly, the first step is going to be putting the coarse dirt down, and that's just going to be along the edges. Alright, so I think this is done for the most part. We might have to touch it up as we continue on, but the next big one should be this brown mushroom block. And I guess the packed mud goes in at the same time. So we're just going to put it in sort of randomly like this. I think that's similar to how they're doing it on their paths. And I think we have sort of what they have for their paths. You know, it looks kind of similar, although we do have to do one last thing. And that is make some mud brick slabs, just so you don't have to jump up each time you go up my path. And just like that, I think the second item on our list is done. We now have a path to lead us up to our house. Fantastic! Now we're on to the second to last thing, which is going to be just kind of going underneath some of these trees and just plopping in some coarse dirt. Though now that I am looking at it, I think I did this on the wrong side, because the needles are on this side, so this area would get less light. So this area should be coarse dirt instead. Yeah, that's going to make a bit more sense. So just anytime we find a tree, we're going to plop some coarse dirt around the west side of the tree. And looky there, we are all done. Lots of coarse dirt. I had to make way more than I thought I needed. And I didn't really touch the aspen trees because I'm not sure if it makes sense for coarse dirt to be under those. Especially because there should be enough light getting to the grass, unlike a lot of these pine trees. So we're just going to leave that like that for now. And I think it does help out quite a bit with the cut in half effect. There's nothing on the east side of any of these trees. You know, all the coarse dirt is where the leaves are. Anyway, we're done with the third thing on our checklist, and now for the last thing, which is putting in these frog lights. I'm going to cover these with moss eventually, but it's going to make more sense for me to do that next episode. So I'm just going to place in all of these lights, and then we should be done. So once again, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this last little montage.